Welcome back to the Blue Lounge. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're watching this stream, whatever time you're watching this pre-recorded stream, I guess, whenever you're watching it. Welcome to the Blue Lounge. This is the reaction to the Burnley 0, Chelsea 4 Premier League match. Chelsea beat Burnley by 4-0. A fantastic second half performance. Fantastic result. However, I was not very happy with that game in the first half. And I can't believe how happy I became in the second half. There's an expression, it says it's a game of two halves. It was literally that today, this afternoon. We're going to be discussing the match, we're going to be discussing the performance, and we're going to be discussing the pre or the post-match press conference. But before I do all of that, I want to say a big up and a big thank you to whoever and whoever is joining the stream right now. We have Courtney already here. Bless up, Courtney. Welcome to the stream. Horizon, good night. You're here at 9 p.m. for you. Big up, good evening. And Deo, big up to you, my man. I hope you are doing well. Let me say a hello to my panelists. I've got some dirt on my lens. Sorry about that. A big hello to my panelists, Chris, Bobby, and some new guy, groomed Mason Mount. A good-looking, groomed Mason Mount. Dennis P, the couch critic, big up to you. Big up to you guys. How you all doing?
Yeah, very well, very well. Good to be back on the Blue Lounge, the best Chelsea fan channel as per. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back on the Blue Lounge. Yeah.
3 points, 4 goals.
Yeah, exactly. Bobby, how are you, my man?
Yeah, good no. Yeah, excellent time to stream. Good positive platform to get a lot of things discussed.
Yeah, listen, positive result, great result today. I'm really happy with the result. And like I said, there's a lot of positives in this game. Some fantastic performances, and you know, we've missed a certain individual, and he's back, with a vengeance today. So really happy to see that that Reece James is back to his full potential, and I think he's got more gears to go through, and I'm excited. We've got a few more people who's just jumped in. Aiden, big up to you. Bobby Fairview, Arsenal for life. Hey, listen, I've got Arsenal subscribers, I've got Liverpool subscribers, so nice. Big up to you. Guys are playing tomorrow, I believe. Top Bins, big up, and Limitless, big up to you. All right, listen, let's have a look at who started this game for us tonight. What did Tuchel start with today? Tuchel, I mean, firstly, I love this kit. We've played, I think, 2 games in this kit right now, Zenit and Burnley. I love the kit. I've got one sitting in my wardrobe. Anyway, we've got Mendy starting in goal today. We had Mendy starting in goal today. Chalobah, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger. I was surprised to see Chalobah because of his sensitive injury, but it was good to see him able to play. Again, Reece James and Saúl Ñíguez as our wing backs. Saúl Ñíguez did all right. He did all right. Reece James, fantastic. Kante, Jorginho. In the heart of midfield with Pulisic, Havertz, and Mount in attack. What did you guys make of that initial lineup when you first saw it? What was your initial thoughts? I'll start with Bobby. Bobby, when you saw this lineup, what was your initial reaction?
Do you know what, Mo? I wasn't really flustered or surprised, apart from Saúl Ñíguez at left wing back. I thought he may have chosen to give Kennedy another run out. I mean, he didn't exactly rip up trees against Luton, but I think we've come to see that, these players do need time. Saul Niguez and Malang Sarr is a perfect example of players needing time. Clearly, for most of us, here in the UK, we haven't seen the game yet. But I hear that Saul didn't do too badly. So I wasn't fussed. I could have maybe put Ruben in midfield, but, we need to remember a lot of these guys are coming back from injury. Ruben is coming back from injury. He eventually did come in and stamped his authority. I've always thought he's a class player. Can't understand people that think otherwise, because he's a guy that was in and out with injury. That's his weakness. He gets injured, but when he's fit, he's unplayable. So yeah, I wasn't surprised.
All right. I agree. I thought Kennedy might make an appearance if we were going to play a back three. Couch, what was your reaction?
Yeah, I pretty much echoed Bobby's sentiments. Didn't really understand the selection of Saul Niguez at left wing back, but I mean, if you look at the actual shape of the team, we really didn't play with wing backs. We kind of played with, wide midfielders again, which was kind of what we were seeing develop under Tuchel before Reece James got injured, before Chilwell got injured. They were just wide midfielders. So the shape to me was 3-2-4-1, if that makes sense. So 3 at the back, not really trying to advance the ball forward, 2 in the middle, Conte and Jorginho, then the wing backs pressed up high, or what you want to call wing backs, so pressed up high to support the likes of Mason Mount and Pulisic, and then Kai Havertz. What a game. Yeah, no, that was the only thing, but that only came to me after the game started to really progress, and you started to see the positions that they took up on the pitch. But at the same time, when we played that formation, the first half, it was evident that we didn't have enough midfield presence, because they were just basically screening. If you watch what Burnley were doing, they were just screening Conte and Jorginho from getting off the ball. They were trying to force us to get wide. And, when we did, we didn't really have, we played it out to Saul Niguez out there. He wasn't really fleet of foot enough to beat his man and, make that run that could break their lines. So we struggled to really get the buildup happening. Right? It was just always the center backs, always moving side to side. When we went long, we lost it. So, yeah, tale of two halves, like you said. First half was extremely poor. Second half, we came to life. In particular, Reece James, though.
Definitely. I like the way you've actually summarized the formation, because I think, especially in the second half, it was definitely a 3-2-4-1.
Exactly.
Now they've actually put it in that context. I'm thinking about it. It did play like that in the second half, especially. Yeah. All right, fantastic. Chris, what did you make of the lineup when you first saw it?
To be honest, I wasn't really too bothered, to be fair. The only thing that I could probably say was Chalobah. I was surprised to see him there, considering, as you say, the injury or potential injury he's got from that disgusting challenge from Naby Keita. And where Saul's positioning was, that was about it. I mean, I wasn't really, everyone else, I wasn't really surprised. I mean, the first half was absolutely boring. I can't believe what I was seeing. I mean, that kind of performance is the kind of performance I would expect from an Arsenal or Spurs, because they're not as big as us. There's a little dig at Arsenal or Spurs there, mate. But the second half, unbelievable. So, yeah, wasn't really too bothered about the lineup. I wasn't like, wow, well, Burnley could do a job on us. I was always confident. But after that first half, I thought, oh my days, don't tell me we're going to get beat here or draw. But yeah, second half.
We'll talk more about the first half and the second half. And I have to admit something in regards to the first half. I literally only saw the first half of it, because I found myself falling asleep, and I literally fell asleep halfway through the first half and woke up literally at halftime. So I'm glad I woke up at halftime, because had I missed that second half, it would have been problematic. But no, it was a boring, dull first 45 minutes, I have to say. There was a couple of good crosses played in by Saul Niguez. A couple of opportunities in the first half, but it was boring. It was really, really boring. It's also it was a very dominant or very what's the word here? I saw the stats at the end of the first half. I think we had 79% possession, 90% pass accuracy, only one shot on target. So it was domination, but there was no end product in the first half. But I guess that was enough to build on for the second half. And before we get into the actual analysis of the game, I wanna just listen to what Tuchel said after the game, because it gives you a little bit of an understanding to his mindset in respect to that result. So we'll have a quick listen to Tuchel, and then we'll get into it. Let's have a look. What did Tuchel say? All right.
Yeah, but it was very calm. We just reminded everybody what we want to do and where we reminded everybody where the spaces are and where we want to find the acceleration, and where we also need to step up was clearly up front. We need to ask more questions and make life more difficult for the back four. Well, the goal then opened the game for us and gave us a lot of belief, a lot of confidence, and then our attacks were more fluid, and we were absolutely more decisive. So it was well done. I mean, on one hand, it was very difficult because the pitch was so dry. We had a lot of ball possession, but it was difficult to accelerate the game. It was somehow always stuck between our legs, and once you pass it, it's already 1 second too late, and the spaces are already closed. So yeah, we had a bit of a switch in tactics to give Ng a bit of more space and have two strikers on the pitch. So team did very, very well, and we kept on believing and had a fantastic second half with a brilliant result.
Okay, trap in the middle then. It's been a weird week. Is it possible to kind of block all that stuff out?
Well, if you look at, it is possible, obviously, because we do it. We had a brilliant match at Wembley, and even to make things harder, a disappointing result at the end. But still, I think 3 days later, only 3 days later, we were at Luton, a total different setup, total different environment and circumstances. We were twice behind in the game, turned it around, job done. 3 days later, you arrive at Burnley, Turf Moor. I mean, you know what's waiting: physicality, direct play, headers, second ball, fighting for second balls, crosses, set pieces. And again, we stepped up. So it shows, for me, a lot of character. That's why I'm very proud, and shows that the guys have what it takes to play for Chelsea, and it shows that we have obviously the environment to focus on football, because we believe that we are allowed to focus on football, and we do it as good as possible, and that's why I'm very happy.
Adam?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we missed him such a long time that you get used to it. I mean, it was like 9 weeks, and in these 9 weeks we had, I don't know, 25 matches or something like this, and you're constantly trying to find solutions, and the team finds solutions, and we do it as a team, of course, and we manage to win games and even title in this period. But once he is back and plays 3 times, and first time from the beginning, you see what you missed. And this is such huge quality, and it's very impressive how decisive he is from in training and now even in the games. These positions are very important positions if you play with this structure, and it's a bit the same on the left side. So it puts things into perspective when you see what we missed, and I'm very happy for him that he came back like this.
Okay, any more for today? Yeah.
Thomas, during the start, just ahead of kick-off, they were doing solidarity with Ukraine. It's obviously a very touching message. I'm sure you'll be aware by now a number of Chelsea fans started chanting Roman Abramovic.
Yeah.
during that solidarity minute.
It's not the moment to do this. Yeah.
What's your view on that?
Well, listen. If we show solidarity, we show solidarity, and we should do it together. We take the knee together. If important person from other clubs or from our club unfortunately die, and we show a minute of respect. It's not the moment to give other messages. Then it's the moment to show respect, and we want that we do this because this is what we are also as a club. We show respect as a club, and we need our fans to commit to this minute of applause in the moment. We do it for Ukraine, and there is no second opinion about the situation there, and that they have our thoughts and our support, and we should stand together as a club. It's not the moment for other messages.
Okay, we'll do one more and then we'll do a Monday. Anyone else? Neil, last one.
Good. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's so professional. I mean, the dressing room are not so big here, which is not a problem. But then you're in the dressing room for an hour 15 and like 40 hours with the team, and you're so close because you're not in another room and something. And you see, even today, even if I know him from Paris in such a long time, you see the focus and the how professional he prepares for every single game, and that's why he can perform like this in a match where you have so many long balls and so many second balls, and where you rely so heavily on the quality of your first touch. If you win a duel in the air, where does this ball land? Is this just one and comes back in a second wave, or is it one and even stays with you because of the technical ability, and then it makes a huge difference, and that's what he does. It's very impressive, but I can tell you he works very, very hard, and on top of it, he's a fantastic person and a big character in the dressing room.
Okay, we do.
All right, fantastic post-match interview. I think most of the questions were on point. Look, the fans are always gonna show love for Roman, and I think chanting his name and showing affection towards the club owner is a good thing. It's something that I would encourage, but in the right time, in the right context. When they say a moment of silence or a moment of applause for a specific cause, we should respect that. So I wanted to just highlight that. The Ukraine situation, the Black Lives Matter knee situation. As Tuchel said, whenever we commemorate the passing of someone from our club or from an opponent's club or someone in football in general, then we should show respect. And I think that is a message that we all need to adhere to. In regards to everything else, I'll let the lads give me their thoughts on it. Let's start with Chris this time. Chris, what was your thoughts on that press conference? What was your take from
it? I just want to touch on that on the thing first before I touch on the press conference in regards to the minute applause, the minute silence for the Ukraine. Yeah, I do believe that we should have done it in a better manner. If that is the cause, then just respect the minute silence, and then afterwards, I'm all for singing Roman Abramovich's name. It goes back to the Euros actually, because it really annoyed me, the Euros, because look, I'm Scottish, right? So if God Save the Queen was playing for England's national anthem, I wouldn't boo that because it's their national anthem, just the same as, when people are booing national anthems at the Euros, I was just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? The national anthem, like, for all of Scotland, I wouldn't wish anyone to boo my national anthem, so I wouldn't do the same. So yeah, this is what unfortunately happens. You get some people that just think they can do what they want sometimes. But yeah, in terms of the press conference, yeah, I mean, Tuchel, that's what I mean, mate. I love Tuchel, honestly. What a manager. What a manager. The way he handles the press and the questions, honestly, I mean, he should be doing media training to some people, because see, some of the managers that do press conferences, I just think, can't do it. But Tuchel, yeah, every question, fantastic. He answered it perfectly. The performance, mate, the first half is terrible. It was absolutely boring. Oh my days. And then the second half, we won the game within the space of 7 minutes. We scored 3 goals in the space of 7 minutes, and I was like, wow.
Chris, don't jump the gun, mate. Just
sorry,
relax.
it's the press conference.
Yeah.
Tuchel answered every question perfectly, and it's finally good to see some intelligent questions getting asked as well. You know, about time. But that's my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I mean, the questions that were asked, especially in respect to Reece James. I mean, I've seen people in the chat mention Reece James. Reece James, you know, we've literally been playing without anyone in that position, because whoever we've had playing in that position as a makeshift winger, wingback, fullback, that's what they are. They're a makeshift player in that position, and you can tell that when you actually have the proper wingback playing in that position and what he added. And it's not just a proper wingback; it's Reece James, arguably one of the best wingbacks, one of the best right wingbacks in the game. And when you have him in your team, and you see the way he performs, I mean, he scored a fantastic goal, and he set up a crucial goal. You know,
just makes me think. Imagine if we had Reece James in Chilwell the whole season. Just imagine that.
We'd be still top. We'd be still top, undoubtedly. Had we not lost Reece James and Ben Chilwell when we did, I'd say we'd still be top of the league. But it is what it is. Let me go to Couch, and then we'll go to Bobby. Couch, what was your take from that press conference? What was your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think first of all, the moment applause and the disrespect that the away support showed was right for him to mention. I think that the response that he gave to it is bang on, and it wasn't a good thing to see. But aside from that, I thought what he's saying about Reece James is what I've been saying forever. You know, this guy's the first world. Well, I want to say the first, but he's definitely, of this group of Cobham kids, he's the only one that I say is on a world-class trajectory. He's there right now. He's probably, like you said, one of the best wingbacks, fullbacks in the game today. And yeah, he's just quality. I want to see him with the captain's armband, just because I think that he's ice, and he's the kind of guy that you can like look to performances from, and you know, really gather you know, some confidence in because his abilities are so good. So you know, I love Reece James. I think he's going to be a great player going forward. He also made mention to Thiago Silva, and it's funny because just as you said that,
sorry, I think you misspoke. He meant he made a mention to Benjamin Button. That's what he meant, right?
Exactly, right. Like, it's funny because as he was mentioning Thiago Silva, I was actually just tweeting on Twitter that like Thiago Silva is the best center back in football right now. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. I don't know anyone that can do the things this guy does. The reading of the game, you know, the ball control, the composure, the leadership, everything that this guy does is of another level. And you would just think that like he's just gotten better and better and better. There's so few that as they get more advanced in age continually step up the game. And you know, coming to England at this age, what did he come, like 36 or something like that? Coming to England and then putting in, you know, top-notch performances in the toughest league in the world right now is, at the age of 38 right now, is, you just can't say enough good things about this guy. And I would love for him to just stay around the club for as long as he can. I don't care if he doesn't necessarily have to play all the games as he gets older, but I want his presence around this club because I think he's just got so much class that he can exude on the entire squad.
Yeah, spot on. And I would love to have him take a coaching role, a mentor role for the academy, and I'm sure, you know, something of that context will be done. His family has made their home here.
Yeah,
and I think, you know, I can definitely see a long-term future for Thiago Silva with Chelsea Football Club. You know, after he moves away from football, and he may even retire here, and that hasn't happened for a while. You know, having a player retire at Chelsea Football Club, and I think you'd have to be of that class, that that level to be able to retire and hang up your boots at a club of the size of Chelsea. So let's see how it pans out. Yeah.
Can you imagine having
go on.
John Terry and Thiago Silva in your training your academy at the same time? That's what?
Two of the best.
Oh my God.
Of the best.
Yeah,
Of the best. Yeah. Two of the best centre backs of our lifetime, training the next generation of Chelsea centre backs. That'll be quite something. That would be quite something. Let me move to Bobby. Bobby Smoke Signals. I've left the best to last in regards to reacting to the press conference. So, what was your take?
Yeah, this is why, before I go to the press conference, but this is why the next owners have to be very carefully vetted because they're going to need to come and ensure things like this, the continuation of Thiago Silva, and some of the positive situations that the club is in at the moment. Certainly, what I've learned from today's game is that if there's one purchase that has to be made this summer, actually two, it's got to be Jules Koundé and maybe, as we keep saying, Tchouameni and or Declan Rice. With the form of Rubin, we won't need more than one of those guys. But anyway, that's another conversation. The press conference, as usual, Thomas Tuchel was excellent. He was immaculate. One disappointing thing for me is that all these days on, the media, they've been pushing him forward to front the club. And any new owner should take note of that as to why he needs to stay. Very disappointing from Bruce Buck and in particular Marina. This isn't a dig at her. It's just a reality. This is her job. You don't hide at a time like this. Thomas Tuchel made excuses for her, saying she's not well and that I have my doubts. He's just covering for her. But this is where you stand up and you're counted. I know the trajectory or the narrative is against us, and she's probably afraid of that because of her Russian background. But sometimes you need to face these things and allow them to look foolish. I understand the question about the fans singing Roman Abramovich's name. I fully understand it. I don't think it's right. Yes, but neither is it right the way they have painted this man as if he is the sole cause of the war in Ukraine. And, people are still bitter about this because, you see, no matter whatever is done to him, it means nothing. It won't stop the war. It will have absolutely no effect on the people that started or that are pushing this war in any way, shape or form. The only people it affects is Chelsea Football Club, their fans and the Chelsea community. That is how ridiculous the whole thing is. But you know what? We know where we are. We know what they're doing. And Thomas Tuchel, as far as the press conference is concerned, he gave the exact correct answers.
Yeah, spot on. Guys, is the stream running okay? Because I'm seeing it lagging on my other device. So if it's lagging on yours, let me know in the chat. And in regards to Eric Dugan's comment, question: what is the blue wrench looking icon next to the person's name in the chat? Well, you've just got one next to your name. If you type a comment, you will see that you have one also. The people who have their name in blue and have a wrench by their name, they are moderators of the chat. They are allowed to time people out, to block people, to keep people in line with the chat. Basically, if anyone has been racist, anyone's swearing, they deal with them. And now I've promoted you, Eric, to a moderator as well in the chat. That's what that is. big up to everyone. I'm seeing a lot of people joining the stream. Do me a favor, hit that like button as you jump on. It just saves you having to remember to do it later on. Ali Louette, Taiwan Talks, Marcio, John Arnold, JJ, CJ, who am I missing? Everyone in the chat, big up to all of you, and thank you all for choosing the Blue Lounge for your Chelsea content. Guys, I want to talk about the future of Chelsea Football Club. I want to talk about the potential bids and the potential buyers, and I will do that. But before I do that, I want to talk about this game in a little bit more detail. And sorry, I've got a slight cold today, so I'll be sniffing every now and then. Big up to John Gall, big up to the governor himself, and Machiavelli and King Zona. Listen, if I'm going to be bigging you guys up on the chat the whole night, we're going to, not get through a lot of content. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all, each and every one of you. First half was a disaster. Second half was fantastic. What do you guys think Tuchel talked about at halftime? What changed? Why did the second half play the way it did, and why did the first half play the way it did? Give me some analysis. I'm going to go with who hasn't started yet. Bobby went first last time. Chris, we'll go with the couch critic, Dennis. You can start us off on this. Why did the game play so differently in the two halves?
It's hard to say. I think that they worked the half spaces a little bit better. Whereas, and I think he touched on it in his post match, if I'm not mistaken. But he did speak on the fact that you have to know when to step into the half spaces, and you also have to know when to make the runs off the ball. And it seems like we were doing that a little bit better in the second half. We actually pushed up the pitch a little bit more. But the problem I had with the first half was just the fact that we couldn't get one of Jorginho or Conte on the ball in that second phase. So we had to go first phase, which is our defenders, and then advance the ball into our attackers. And if they couldn't hold the ball up, or if they weren't able to get on the half turn or anything like that, it went right back. And then we just have to recycle possession. I think Chelsea's excellent at keeping possession, very poor at making that possession count. It's very good at recycling possession, I should say. But when it gets to the final third and you need somebody to just have something magical happen to break down, a low block defense, we just don't have the capabilities of doing that right now. So that was part of the problem that I saw in the first half. Also, when you push it out wide, we didn't really have anybody out. Like Reece James, we didn't really work it down the right flank a lot, to be honest. Most of the first half was down the left flank when we were looking for the outlets, because that's where most of our aerial presence was when you look at Saul Niguez being good in the air and whatnot. But when we worked it out to the left, Saul Niguez doesn't necessarily possess the same sort of pace and power to get in behind his marker. So, he would either try and do these one-touch passes to break the lines, and they weren't very good. They were turned overs, or he just turn it back over and recycle the possession again. This happened repeatedly in the first half, where he got space, and because he didn't trust his ability to dribble or his pace, he would just take one-touch passes, and it would just go either right into the defender, or it wouldn't find, the attacker that we're trying to play it into with the right sort of ball. So that was one problem. And then in the second half, I think the main change for me was we just worked it down the right to Reece James, who's much better and much more comfortable in those positions. He's much better out wide. He made the right runs, intelligent runs, got into space, connected well. Chalobah was pressed up the pitch quite well as well. So, yeah, the difference was, I guess, just confidence to get forward and using the right side of the pitch to really, have more impact than we did at the left. But, that was just my interpretation of it.
I'm seeing Tyrone says that Pulisic played or he moved to the right, and like I said, I have to admit I fell asleep in the first half. So was Pulisic playing more towards the left and then he changed to the right? Did that happen? I mean,
they did switch. They definitely did switch.
They did, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
As they always do, though. That's something that they always do. But yeah, you definitely saw Pulisic popping up more on the right now, and I think that was mainly because we weren't really getting much from Mason Mount today at all. He was not combining with anybody today. And That's why I changed my avatar, man. He's got to cut his hair, man.
You know. I mean, I don't like to bash Mason Mount, but I do see that a new hairstyle might be in order here. You know, we need to change
man.
something. We need to
Confidence,
change
man.
something.
Seriously, man. You got to be out, go on the pitch and feel confident in your game and whatnot. With that hair, you can't be feeling good about that, man.
I don't know. I don't know if it's there, if it's something else. But yeah, no, Mason Mount does need to address a few things because unfortunately he's not performing to the level that we know he can perform. And guys in the chat, let me know, is the stream okay? Because it's still lagging on my end. But if it's okay, then I guess it's fine. Bobby. Pulisic moving position, a couple of well-used phrases in the dressing room. What was the difference at halftime? Why did Chelsea play so much better in the second half?
Yet again, we are at a very strange time. There's a multiple, set of causes for this. We have players that are trying to get on team. We have had a lot to deal with off the pitch, a lot. I think this Roman thing will be in their minds a little bit. Not that it will, not in the same way as it will be in ours. Well, not all of them, because it will be in their minds in terms of their careers. Some people, someone like Rudiger, for example, he'll be wondering what to do next. Oh gosh, new owners are coming in. Are they going to give him a new contract? Are they, that sort of thing. And though he's very focused and he has no need to worry for his career as a whole, but where he wants to be, which I believe is Chelsea, could be somewhere in the back of his mind. And after the Palace game, some players that didn't play, some players did play. Just a little bit of cobwebs, a little bit of I don't know what, mental fatigue, call it what you like, came in. And the first half ended up being what it is. Second half, we showed our qualities, we showed who we are. And definitely, Reece James, he is such a major part to the way Chelsea play. We're a different team when we have him in the side, not to mention both him and Chilwell. And that's why backups like Jules Koundé on the right, because he can also play centre back. It's imperative that we get him and we find somebody who is good enough to deputise or indeed challenge Chilwell on the left. And we'll be fine with another season under Tuchel, another year of players getting used to each other. Also, I've decided to get off Lukaku's back. I think I know he's had some absolute stinkers. I know. Me more than most didn't even want him in the club. But he's here now and he can't easily be shifted. And we have to realize that no matter how much he costs, he's going to need time to get to carve his niche in the way this team plays. Not many players in the world will be able to fit into this sort of team. And it's a big challenge for everybody. Now, he's not exactly the cream of the cream in terms of strikers, but he needs time to get in and establish himself as a goal scorer in the team. So I think patience for our players is very important.
Yeah, no, I mean, in regards to developing, in regards to improving players or positions in the next window, we are definitely going to have to do something about that, and it depends on where we are this summer as a club. I think a player like Koundé, maybe a few players out, a few players in, and there is going to be something I'm going to address in a minute, and it's in regards to the number of players that are actually seeing out their contracts and walking out on a free. I mean, I'm not sure statistically speaking if it is on the up, but in regards to big names, in the next transfer window, there's a hell of a lot of good players out of contract. So a club like Chelsea may not, or may look to bring in some free transfers rather than go for big money signings from what is available. And all you need to do is have a stable or a secure club. And I think if we are able to have a good owner or a good consortium come in, we may be in a position where we can attract some good players next window, and we'll address that in a moment. Let me pose the same question to Chris. Chris, poor first half, fantastic second. A lot of points have been mentioned, a lot of ideas have been discussed. Why do you think, from your perspective, we did so much better in the second half?
I think I summed it up perfectly in the group chat when I said this is what makes it. This is what's the difference is between a good manager and a world-class manager, because this is where the managers earn their money. Going in at half-time, will you 0-0 or 1-0 down or 2-1 down? That a world-class manager will motivate the players and get the players absolutely up for it in the second half. And I believe the only reason why we performed so well was because the tactical changes that Tuchel made and whatever he said to them in the dressing room. And Reece James, mate, as soon as he gets firing, good luck to the rest of whoever the opposition is, because he is, for me, one of the best players in the team when he's on form and one of the best right wing backs in the world. So if he's in a rhythm, Reece James, I feel sorry for the opposition, because the quality of the crosses that get into the box, his decision making, his defensive play. I mean, people can rant and rave about Trent Alexander-Arnold, but for me, Trent's amazing going forward, no doubt about it. But defensively, he's not on Reece James's level defensively, in my opinion. So that's Reece James, quality player. And so overall, I mean, that first half was absolutely horrendous, shocking. But the second half, much better.
Sorry guys, a fire alarm is just going off down my end. Give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back.
All right. Well, so couch.
Continue within yourselves. I'll be right back.
Go on. Couch, mate.
No.
You back?
Yeah, I'm back. Somebody must have pressed the button. All right. Just 1 second. I wanna ask you guys this question, because Kai Havertz is doing well right now. Getting goals, making some, it's producing some good form. Today, was it Kai Havertz playing well, or was it Reece James who brought the best out of him, or was it a bit of both? How much of an impact does Reece James bring onto our attack? And
it's immense.
I'll be back. Right.
It's a great question, though, because I think Reece James is immense, but I also think that what you get from Kai Havertz is he gets into the right areas on the pitch. If we're going to make the comparison between what we see from Lukaku and what we see from Kai Havertz, I think that's the main thing. Like, he always finds himself in good positions to make an impact. And today was a good example of that. I thought that, he didn't get into incredible areas for his goals, because I think that those are two areas that Lukaku likes to occupy all the time, and it's just a matter of whether or not we can find him. But his overall play is just like, you always see him where you want to see him. He makes smart decisions to get into great areas. So for me, it has more to do with his movement than it does about his ability to actually score goals, if that makes sense. But of course, I'm not going to say that like Reece James is not a difference maker. He attracts people towards him anyways because he's so good on the ball. Like, his goal, then he dribbled past two, like shook one off, dribbled past the other one, and just buried it. Like, teams have to take Reece James into account when he's in that final third. So with that said, you're not going to be able to like cheat off of Kai Havertz. You're gonna have to go 1v1 with Kai Havertz because that Reece James is a danger in the box. So that's something else that is very obvious, and we just did not have that luxury with Azpilicueta. As much as he's our captain, and he does great things on the pitch. He's a very good motivator, and he takes a lot of pressure off the squad. He's just not that presence in the final third. He does not have that sort of presence. So you can actually cheat off of him, knowing that like he doesn't really put in the best crosses, and he doesn't really look to get on the end of things. So yeah, I'm a believer that Reece James makes a difference down there for spatial awareness and, you know, attracting the defense. But I also think that Kai Havertz gets into good areas and occupies areas where defenders aren't really wanting to be comfortable in the half spaces and whatnot. So yeah, it's just two different types of strikers, man. You can't really compare their abilities really, because they're just two different types of strikers, right? Kai Havertz gives you a little bit more movement. He likes to engage in the half spaces. Lukaku likes to use his power and his pace to run at people. And, you know, they're both very good at scoring goals. We just got to pick the right horse for the course.
All right, fantastic. I just want to inform everyone, someone's cooking in the kitchen and they kind of messed up their food and the fire alarm went off, so nothing to worry about. Guys, in regards to the game, in regards to the performances, in regards to the fact that Romelu Lukaku didn't take any part in this game, and the fixtures that we have upcoming, let me just bring up, I think we're playing Norwich next, is it? Yeah, we're playing Norwich on Thursday. And then we're playing Newcastle on Sunday. And then I think we're back in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. We're back in the Champions League, and then Middlesbrough in the Cup. So we've got 2 back-to-back Premier League games against 2 teams that are relatively struggling right now. I mean, Newcastle have had a good run of form recently, so they are out of the relegation zone. Do you guys think Lukaku will be brought back? Do you think we're going to see a lot less of Lukaku? How do you see this playing out in respect to Romelu Lukaku?
I just went on a long diatribe. I don't know if I should go again.
Sorry?
I just went on my own a long little dialogue.
I didn't hear you. I was away.
Well, I could go again. I don't mind if you ask.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I think he comes back in. Like it's not like he's just a forgotten man now. It's all about form, you know. Like Kai Havertz is looking to be in form right now, so he's going to be the number 1 dog. But you know, there's going to be times where you're going to want to play Lukaku. I would assume Lukaku gets in, if not the next game, then the game after that, and we move from there. I think one thing that we've noticed with Tuchel is he looks for form. He wants people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing on the pitch. If you're not in form, he's not going to play you, and you're going to be hard pressed to get back into the squad, because he's going to ride a few guys too, because he did that with the Lukaku as well. Maybe this is just Kai Havertz's time to get his run of games now as well. See if he can get himself up and running. So, yeah, I don't doubt that Lukaku will get back into the squad. I just don't know if he's going to be first choice until, you know, he starts banging them in regularly. Like right now, if you think about a big game and you're thinking about who you want to lead the line, it's got to be Kai Havertz. You know, he scores in the big games. He is, you know, he's definitely allowing us. Some would argue that we function better with Kai Havertz up front. We play better to our strengths with Kai Havertz. All of these things point to, we have 2 strikers. We have one for a specific type of game. We have another one for another type of game. And, you know, when we're getting into this final, you know, obviously this is now crunch time. This is now when you want, you know, you see your best players deliver. If we can get performances from Kai Havertz and Lukaku, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying Lukaku's done. Let's rotate. Some saying he give him a chance. People are also talking about dropping Mount and giving Ziyech more game time. I think Ziyech is not 100%, and that's why he's not playing. But yeah, I see it. Chris, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, looking at the fixtures there, by the way. I mean, I don't want to sound big-headed here, but we should be. I mean, if we perform like that, if we perform like we did in the second half against Norwich, by the way, we slapped Norwich 7-0 this season already. good luck to Norwich. You know what I mean? But, you know, they'll wish they were in the Championship after we're done with them the next game. And in terms of who's the next game? Newcastle? We should be doing the same to them. I mean, the teams that we're coming up against next, we should be winning them. In terms of Lukaku, I don't see how he comes in yet because of the way we've been performing. Kai Havertz, for me, leading the line, he's doing a job. He's doing a job that Lukaku was brought in to do, and Lukaku's not done it. That, for me, I know this may sound a bit too early to say, but after that Palace game, the 7 touches, oh my! If Lukaku comes in and performs at that again, it's done. It's done. I'm willing to give him a second chance, and hopefully Tuchel is. But I don't see how Lukaku comes in. I don't see maybe against Middlesbrough, maybe. I don't see him starting against Lille. And in terms of solidifying the top 3, I don't see his starting them. I see he's sticking with Havertz, Pulisic, Mount / Ziyech. Even Mount. Mount's been poor recently. Mount needs to up his game big time. And I love Mount. I love him to bits. But honestly, I mean, I'm not going to believe in this hair thing. I mean, he's trying to look like Prince Charming with this hair. I mean, but he needs to do something. He needs to perform.
It's the hair, man. I'm telling you. So he gets back and he cuts his hair. I'm telling you, you start seeing him bagging the goals again. And
short back and sides, man.
You remember when he used to press all over the pitch. He's getting all fast and he's closing quickly. He can't do that anymore because of his locks, man. It's just like it's slowing him down. It's like what do you call it? Like an umbrella catching him, slowing him down.
Ever since he had the wisdom tooth pulled out, mate, it's in the teeth. His wisdom tooth been pulled out.
True. Yeah, I'm not worried about him, but I can't. I don't see him as being as influential as he's been. And if he's not being that influential, then he's got to watch from the bench, because he doesn't offer enough in other aspects.
Yeah. All right, listen. I'm going to address the rumors in respect to potential buyers, and then I'm going to, after that, open the stream for the people in the chat. So if you're in the chat and you want to, if you're in the chat and you want to jump on and talk to us, I'll give you a chance in about 15 minutes. So stick around and we'll put the link in the chat in about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Look, there's a lot of potential buyers, a lot of names that have been mentioned, a lot of scenarios that could be on the horizon. I'm hearing rumors that Roman Abramovic is already meeting with this Turkish dude in Turkey. So, what is your thoughts on this, guys? Where do you stand in respect to what you've heard so far and what you've read so far in regards to the potential ownership of Chelsea Football Club in the near days, weeks, months? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you leak, you often, I feel like you're probably not going to be the person. I know that this Turkish guy, there's been lots of talk about him being the guy, but I don't know, man. It seems like when you talk, I don't know anyone that's making a big move like this and is just out in the media talking like that. It just doesn't seem right for me. And when I look, all I've been doing this entire week, I'm not gonna lie, is I've just been looking up, net worth of all the, how much money you got? How much money you got? Can you bankroll us? That's all I've been looking up the whole week, and I can't find anything on this guy. There hasn't really been any accurate. I know Forbes hasn't listed him as a proper billionaire, or whatever. He's not listed in Forbes, so that's a factor for me. And then also, much of these guys could just be using this for their own publicity. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, because I'm sure what happened was that Rain Foundation or whatever, the ones that are helping with the sale or putting forth the packages or whatnot. They're probably sending them out to anyone that they know is a billionaire who's on their rosters. Listen, here, this club is interested or is out there, and they'll just send out the packages to whoever requests it, and then you decide whether or not you can afford it. But for this guy, if he's only worth a couple billion, it's a good opportunity for him to put his name out there in the media. Oh yeah, Chelsea, I'm interested in buying Chelsea. Listen, look at me. I run these businesses here, so it could just be their way of just trying to get their names out there.
Yeah, possible.
You never know. You never know. I just think that the bids that are going to be serious are the ones that we're not going to be really hearing about. That's
I agree.
the one I feel is going to be the one that's going to make the most impact.
I agree. I think we will. The potential buyer or the buyer will be someone who we haven't heard of over the past few days. Boogeyman's just jumped on. Boogeyman, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. How are you?
Hey Mo, thanks for having me. Hello guys.
What's up?
Listen, I've been really busy. That's the only reason why I didn't show up too often on the channel. One of the best ever. And Chris is representing me, that's for sure. Chris, I've been listening to you.
Team Boogeyman, that's the way it is, mate.
Keep doing the fight for me, man. And don't let couch critics run over you, right? Don't ever.
Never will, mate.
That's not my style.
Big up.
Yo, thanks for
big up.
having me, man. Thanks.
My pleasure, Boogie. Boogie, what's your take on all this talk in respect to potential buyers?
I'm just going to be really honest. I mean, since my adult life or since being supporting Chelsea, I haven't felt so disconnected from Chelsea, and for some reason. Listen, I don't know. I'm not doing any research on Chelsea. Even today's game, for example, I didn't start the game earlier. I think it was 13 minutes something that I started watching the game, and I was way too relaxed in a way that it scares me sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I know I'm still supporting Chelsea. I'm a big fan, but I don't get frustrated when the game is slow. I don't get frustrated when Saul made mistakes. I'm just relaxed about it. So the emotions is not there at this point. It probably has something to do with Abramovic, leaving the club. I'm still wishing that he make a 360 and say, "Oh, listen, man, I'm keeping the club." I'm still hoping. So other than that, whoever decided to take over the club, hopefully Abramovic will do. Roman will do his due diligence and make sure that guy that just does not destroy his legacy, because it's 20 years, more than 20 years and plus legacy he built. Chelsea has been on top in elite, in APL, and even in European football. So hopefully he the new owner or whoever decided to take over invest and keep the same structure. So we fan can rediscover our love. I mean, I think I still love Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, but just something is broken, to be honest. So hopefully it come back. But other than that, listen, I'm just praying and hopefully that whoever comes doesn't destroy the club. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Roman Abramovich wasn't a fan of Chelsea Football Club. He wasn't a supporter of Chelsea Football Club. He wanted to buy Spurs before he bought Chelsea. So he was not a proper Chelsea, as we say. He wasn't a proper Chelsea. However, once he bought the club, once he started to do the business, once he started to invest, once he started to win, once he became who he became Chelsea. He became a massive, massive part of Chelsea. And I think Chelsea has something about it where whoever becomes part of it will find it very hard to walk away or to forget that part of his time with Chelsea. And we've seen it with a lot of players who come and play for us for 2 or 3 seasons and then they go play for a different club. They will still have a connection with Chelsea while they don't have connections with other clubs that they played for. So I think we as Chelsea fans should not be worried about the potential owner, because whoever is going to own the club, I think within a very short period of time they would fall in love with this club and they will start to treat it and to deal with it in a very similar way to Roman. I'm just. This is how I see it. It's how I feel it. Chris, let me get your thoughts on this.
Yeah. Look, the solution I would want is Roman to stay. I said it perfectly when the announcement was announced that he was leaving or selling up. I said, all I have to say, I respect and love him so much, so I'd love him to stay, but that's not going to happen. Look, the owners, I mean, this Switzerland guy, right? I'm not going to swear, but he can do one after what I've heard about this guy, about how he wants to buy the club because he dislikes Roman. That's the reports. But if that's true, he said he's not a football fan either. We'll do one then. Bye. I don't want you anywhere near the club. Simple as that.
Well, I don't think that I don't think it'll come to that anyways. If those are the rumors that are coming out.
Anyway, so in terms of the other thing as well, I'm clear on the thing as well. I don't want American owners. It's nothing against America. It's just the fact is I've seen proof other clubs that it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and I'm not willing to take the risk, regardless. Yeah, this Turkish fella. I mean, this guy claims to be a billionaire. Yeah, he's not even on the Forbes website. So, I mean, are you really a billionaire, mate? Or are you just saying that? Because if you're a billionaire, surely you're going to be in the Forbes website, no? Like, regardless of whatever it is. So, I don't know. Hopefully it takes in good time. Yeah, either another European or an Arab. I'm willing to do that. But Roman, as I say, Roman will make the best decision and pass it to the right person, hopefully. And yeah, but as for the Swiss guy, no chance. Get him away from my club. No way, mate. No way.
I mean, look, 1 + 1 = 2. I mean, if he is talking that, if he is actually saying that, then Roman ain't going to sell to him. Therefore, he is jeopardizing his transaction. Therefore, I doubt he's actually saying that. And whether or not it's true or not, you know what? I might have 2 billion, and I've got a couple of other mates who have 1 billion each, and we can afford to buy Chelsea Football Club. But then I look at Couch, and he's got 6 billion, and I don't want Couch to get the deal. So what I'm going to say is, well, Couch doesn't like Chelsea. He hates Chelsea. He doesn't like Roman. He hates Roman. I'm spawning. I'm
What's this first guy's name?
Couch. I'm just saying.
Didn't know Couch has 6 billion, man.
I'm just saying. So
people,
you don't know Couch. You don't know Couch.
You don't know what I'm moving like,
man, listen. Couch has got monies, man. He's got monies.
Trust me.
You know what?
Because I'm silent, don't think I don't got it, man.
Here's 6 billion with my couple of billion. We can buy Chelsea.
Yeah, just get Chelsea, so we can all just relax.
Playing it cool.
How do you know I'm not booking? Just relax, man.
Playing it cool.
Silence, man.
What's the Swiss guy's name? Is it Weiss Hansorg or something?
Wiz. I believe it's Wiz.
It's
Wiz.
He can whiz off. Yeah, simple as that. Yeah, he's got don't come anywhere near Chelsea.
All right. Anyway. Now let me spend a few minutes. Actually, you know what? Let me put the link in the chat, and then we'll spend a few minutes talking about the potential transfer window. Let me just put the link in the chat, guys. I'm putting the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to jump on is welcome to do so. All you got to do is click on the link. It's loading up. Here we go. All right, now. Do you guys agree that players are actually preferring to walk away at the end of their contracts rather than sign contract extensions? And is that something happening more often? What do you guys think about that? Because I mean, look, Pogba, Dybala, Dembele, Rudiger, Christensen. There's more. These are all free transfers. These are all free transfers, and these are some big names. So, what's happening in regards to extensions and player contracts? Are we seeing?
Can I say something quick there?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I just think COVID happened. All clubs are watching their financing. That's the key. Before COVID, I'm pretty sure Pogba will be renewed with Manchester United, or Dybala will stay at Juventus. It's just the fact that nothing is sure, and clubs try to renegotiate all the contract. And probably Dybala is thinking he may double or even add another 100,000. I don't know what kind of euro they use in Italy. Also, I think 100,000 on top of his wages, and then Juventus say, "Oh no, we're not going to do that." So it's all money. I don't think it is more than that. Christensen is all about money. He wanted to be one of the most expensive or most paid defender in Chelsea. It's not going to happen. That's why he's leaving. Rudiger wants certain wages. It's not going to happen because COVID happened. I just think it's simple as that. Club are watching their financing since COVID. That's the main reason for me, anyways.
I think that it's just the new model now. You're going to see a lot more of this right now because even before COVID, you were seeing people running down their contracts so they can like command more on the open market and basically dictate exactly where they want to go. You know, that's the North American influence right there with agents right now. Agents are, you know, encouraging their players to run down their contracts so they can make more capital. And I think that now that they're actually trying to control what agents can make, you're going to see this happen more often now than before. You know, run down your contract, we'll make more money. We'll have the world as our oyster to select where we want to be. That's the North American model, and I think that that's what's happening now more so than ever.
Yeah, but can I ask a question, Coach? So what about the injury? Isn't it you're taking 50-50 chance on your life? Because if you run the contract down and the last 6 months you get injured, then what?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There is a risk there. There's definitely a risk there, but it's the same risk that all the athletes are taking in North America. You know, running down their contracts, and they're not worried about it too much. You know, football players, basketball players, like it's just what I think is going on right now. You know, you're running the risk. You're betting on yourselves, and you know you can get injured doing anything right now, whether or not you have the contract or not. Right.
All right, let me bring in Olu. Olu, welcome to the stream. Let me hear your thoughts, mate. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good.
Olu,
Doing good,
welcome,
brother.
Great. Yeah, I decided to jump on the show today and get to contribute to today's match and also with the situation with Chelsea Football Club and ownership. I'll start off with the ownership first. I know it's been very emotional for a lot of Chelsea fans, which is natural. However, we do need to understand, this is done based on situations, and I think we need to be realistic and hope for a very, a very positive, ownership, just like Roman. And I want to say we should trust Roman on who he wants to sell the club to. I believe Roman will sell the club to someone who believes can do better for Chelsea. So I'm a bit confident in that, and I'm still going to support Chelsea. But the affection is there with Roman and the whole 20 years, 19 years project for Chelsea Football Club, which is great. And which you got on the match for today. It was great. We won today, and I'm very excited. We drew to Burnley at Stamford Bridge. It was a very poor result there. But for today, the first half was, wasn't so great. You could see the static midfield we had, the same old tradition problems we had. But getting to the second half, I believe Timo Tuchel made some tactical changes, bringing Mason Mount from the wide to come help in the middle. And we're very fortunate and happy to win the match. And just want to pinpoint a couple of few players which I feel could still be a stumbling block. With Mason Mount. Mason Mount has been struggling for the past couple of months. I don't think we should be surprised with his performance. I'll give him credit. He's still a young lad. Still got a lot to learn. But I think, it might be a time for him to sit on the bench. Watch from the bench, readdress the situation. And he's going to kick himself back on form as well. And, I was very excited with Kai. I don't care, how he plays. All I want is goals,
Right.
I'm happy. He had 2 goals, which is something we've really missed from our attacking form players. So I'm excited for him. Pulisic as well, I think he had a good game. I'm always impressed with him, with the defender, Thiago Silva, world class, does his job. And you can see Reece James, the quality in Reece James. I know a lot of people are going to keep comparing Reece James to Trent. I think for me, it's not even about comparison, just let us appreciate, Reece James' good work. He's got great qualities going forward and defending as well. And for me, the future, is the sky's the limit for him. And I'm really excited to have Reece James back in our team. And For me, I'm just excited. We're in a very good position to the end of the season, and we get to build from there. That's all I've got to say. And I think Thomas Tuchel was as well. He's doing a good job. From the PR point of view. I know the media has been very hostile to him, but I think he's doing a great job, and I hope he gets it back in for next summer, which would be great as well. Yeah.
Yep. No, totally agree. Fantastic. Well said. All right. Bobby, what's your thoughts on this? On the situation in regards to the ownership? Because I didn't get a chance to hear from you in respect to that.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. I just was thrown out. Where are we with this? I mean, clearly it's all down to. I do believe that there were at least 10 bidders. Whatever the situation is, Chelsea is not a club that's going to be up for sale and people aren't going to want to buy. I'm not surprised that this guy with the Swiss guy kind of tried to undercut him with a bid. I think they went for 2.5. Roman wants at least 3. We have to just have faith that Roman will get, first of all, the right person to buy the club. And secondly, the right person to buy the club will be the person that will continue his vision. There are lots of permutations with this. It's quite clear that, with the cost of purchase, cost of a new stadium, which is imperative, cost of player funding, it has to be somebody or a group of people with very deep pockets. They've got to have money. It makes no sense if they don't have money. And so some of the names being quoted, if it is just them, based on their net worth, they can't afford Chelsea. If you've got a net worth of 11.5 billion, unfortunately, you can't afford this club. That is how expensive it is to step in, own, and invest in. So it looks very likely that there will be some sort of consortium or group or corporate entity that will buy the club. How that works out for the club is left to be seen. It can work. Certainly works with Man City, and it certainly works with PSG, and time will tell, but it doesn't seem to be doing badly with Newcastle, albeit the common denominator is that they're all either Kuwaiti or Saudi owned, but you can get a consortium to work. I'm not of the school of thoughts that, the Americans, it's not going to work. If Roman vets them and finds them suitable, then it will work, no matter where they're from. It's unlikely that Americans will come in invested with too much emotion into English football. This is because they don't have that culture anyway. They really don't. Whereas Roman, being a European, understands that emotional connection that we have to football. And it was emotions that made him want to get into football in the first place. And when he found Chelsea, he completely fell in love. So will we find that again? Probably not. Will we find somebody close to it? It's possible. It is possible. I had a little thought. I said, well, what actually stops him from indirectly being a part of a consortium? I don't want to go there because I don't want it out there. I don't want people now to latch onto that. And, the knives are out for him, whatever he does. But it's possible. However, having said that, I think he would be so hurt right now that once he sells Chelsea, he's going to walk away from football completely.
All right, Bobby. Let me follow that up. Do you think? I mean, is it possible? Is it possible to have some sort of deal where you can insert an agreement for the club to be potentially sold back to Roman at some point in the future? Do you think Roman could actually, or would want to come back and buy this club at some point in the future? Because I know this might be a fairy tale kind of scenario, and it's something that people would think about because they would like to keep the option and the fantasy that maybe Roman would come back one day and continue his legacy at Chelsea Football Club. But from a business standpoint, is there anything stopping that from happening? Could we actually have that inserted? And I'm asking Bobby and the rest of the panel if you guys know that this is an option that can actually happen.
I don't think. I mean, a deal is a deal, isn't it? A deal in a free world is a deal. If that's inserted, of course, it's possible. Is it likely? It's not likely. I think what would be more likely, if we want to dream, would be he will have a company that isn't attached to his name at all, and they will be part of the so-called consortium. That's unlikely as well. I just think, looking at it in the cold heart of day, like we've all been forced to look at, is that, look, Chelsea Football Club was this man's true love. He really loves the club. It's been taken away from him for whatever reason, fairly, unfairly. He did not want it to be like this. I don't care who you are, whether you are as hard-nosed as anything in business. This is going to hurt. And I think once the sale is made and he sets it up to as best as he possibly can, he'll walk away. He's not walking away from Chelsea. He's just walking away from the haters to protect Chelsea.
I would love for him to come in and be like a shirt sponsor or something like that. What's his name? Is it Evraz is his steel company, or maybe just even the stadium sponsors or something like that. Just have his little bit there. If he doesn't get sanctioned, that's still a possibility. But I think we need to come to grips with the fact that he's not going to be the owner of this football club. It's just that's the reality of things. It's not going to. They're not going to reverse the decisions that we're going to make, and we have to think about what our future is without Roman Abramovich. But like I said, I still think that as I say that, I still think there might be a possibility he could probably sponsor us in some way. Who knows? Kick sponsor, something, drink sponsor. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's to the point now where I feel like we really got to be thinking about the future away from the club.
We've got a mobile company sponsoring our shirts. So
my question is, when
Son could come and do that, actually.
In the future, wants to sponsor
That's true,
our shirts. So yeah. I think there will always be a link somehow, somewhere. Ken Bates. He still makes appearances, or he made his appearances. I've not seen him for a while, but he even though he sold the club, he still had his connection to the club.
Can't get him out of the hotel. I think he's still there, isn't he?
Is he? Yeah, there you go.
So suite in the hotel for years. Even after he sold it.
Yeah. So Roman will still have a season ticket. He'll still have. And I'll guarantee you, in the future when Chelsea get to a Champions League final, get to a big tournament, he will still be there. He would take time out just to come and I'm sure he'll come on the pitch and congratulate the players. Look, we as me personally, the debt that he has, what he has achieved with Chelsea Football Club it's a debt that we can never repay for him, especially after him walking away and giving the money to charity. So I will always have love and respect for him, whether he's connected to the club or not connected to the club, in respect to that part of his legacy and what he's done for Chelsea Football Club. And I would love to see a stand being named after him. And us as fans, I mean, right now, I'm being quiet about this, but us as fans, once this whole thing blows over, we need to push for it. We need to push for it and get something as recognition for what he has given the club. And if the club doesn't do it, then we should push for it. We should ask for it.
The fact that he's giving all the sales money for charity, does that MP in the British Parliament, does he want that money or does he not want it?
Look, that MP's got his own problems right now. That MP has his own problems right now. I mean, I don't want to speak about it because it's still tabloid kind of press kind of thing. But he's got his own problems to deal with. And all I got to say is what goes around comes around. So, he did his witch hunt, and now now he's getting payback. So we'll just Look,
I just don't understand the fact that the guy Roman is. You can say whatever you want to say about him. You're taking away the Chelsea. You're hurting a lot of Chelsea fans. And then he's giving the money for the charity, the entire sales money as a charity, and you're taking that also. It just does not. If he's that bad, why are you taking his money? Just refuse it and just say, I don't understand this whole thing. Anyways, that's me. It's just my frustration. So.
Yeah. Look, I just want to say one thing before I let you guys carry on. I had two conversations with two individuals who are both Chelsea fans. And they were talking about where we are today. Where is our minds? Where is our focus? Where is our heart? Where is our emotions? And I just want to say something to the people here watching the stream. As Chelsea fans right now, we are going through a very, very painful period. And it isn't because our club is about to get sold. A lot of people on the outside, they look at Chelsea fans and they think that we're worried that our club is getting sold. We're not worried that the club is getting sold. We're worried that, we are unhappy that Roman is walking away.
Exactly.
That's what it is. We don't care about who's coming in. This will be something. No. I mean, this is something that is going to be, it's going to happen. We're hoping that Roman would vet the person. We would take all our measures to make sure that whoever comes in will do a good job. But that isn't the biggest concern. The biggest concern for us is the fact that we're losing Roman as an owner. That is bigger to me than the fact that somebody else is coming in. We don't want to lose Roman as an owner because of what he has done for the club. We have no interest in him and his businesses, his personal ventures or whatever. No. Our interest in respect to Roman Abramovic is what he has done for Chelsea Football Club. And the way that he ran Chelsea Football Club, we want to see that continue. And this is why whoever's going to come in isn't going to be able to do what Roman was doing. And that is what is concerning for us. And that in itself is giving us turmoil, it's giving us a headache, it's giving us a bit of a heartache, because we're about to lose I'm not going to say one of I'm going to say the best owner in football. Because I don't think any owner in football walked away from his club being a powerhouse in Europe, the world champions, selling the club the way that he's selling it, and then donating to a cause that was used to get him or to force him to sell the club. Do you understand? It really is a story that you would think is fictional. You would think what's happening to Chelsea is fictional, but it's actually reality. And that is why Chelsea fans today are emotional and are upset. It isn't because of what what the people are thinking. No, there's a deep reason behind this.
You'll never get another
Yeah,
owner like
I've never read a
Sorry.
statement. And
Can I add to that, please? I really want to add to that, Mo.
Go on.
Because I've seen this guy in the flesh. You know, I remember back in the day, the old Chelsea TV, when he first came, you know, I used to phone up, you know, Gigi, Jason, all of them, and Tommy Langley, and I'll say, look, I've seen this guy watching games, and this man is a fan. It could be you or me. He goes through all the pain, all the anxiety. He kicks every single ball. After games, he would go down to the changing rooms, to the players. Not like the owner. He's going there starstruck, like a fan. Roman, you don't fake these things. The emotion this guy has, and I've seen it live, it's not faked. It's there. He hurts when we lose. He's elated when we win. He lives every second of every drama of the game. You can't get him away from his seat. That's what he's connected to Chelsea fans for. He could be you or me. And we've had to sit there and watch a sort of injustice happen to this man for reasons that are outside of anybody's control within this sphere. It's painful. You know, for the past few days when I heard this whole thing about Roman, I was hurting. I watched on Twitter something that Johnny posted, you know, some of the moments that the cameras captured of Roman. And, you know, I felt a lump in my throat. Why? Because he's one of us. That is you can't get any closer to the meaning of he's one of us than Roman Abramovich. And so what happened today, where there was a minute's silence for Ukraine, and some fans, because it's not all of them, started chanting Roman. They weren't doing it as any disrespect or spite to Ukraine. I can assure you those people probably couldn't help themselves. And if ever he is allowed to come and say goodbye, I can promise you, not only will Stamford Bridge be rocking with his name, but outside, you know, those sort of trophy parades we used to have, outside that whole Chelsea area will be people waiting for that man. That he is box office. He's box office because of what he is, what he's done for the club, and how down to earth he is. This is a geezer that the other day walked to the stadium from his house with fans. Who does that? And you tell me people won't be connected to? That's what's hurting us. It's not the money side of it, although we're concerned about that too. But this is where the emotional side comes in. That man will never be forgotten at Stamford Bridge unless they find something to really start tarnish his name, which I'm sure they would love to. But as it stands, he's immortalized at that club.
Without doubt.
I've never read a statement. I said that in the blue, like when the statement came out about Abramovich, selling up. I was heartbroken, mate. Tears were in my eyes. I was emotional, right? And it's just, honestly, one of the saddest days of my life in football terms, because it was just like, wow, the best owner in football, and he has. I'm not going to say one. He's the best owner in football. His connection to Chelsea Football Club, his care, his passion for the club. It's second to none. I can't think. As I said, I cannot think of an owner that's, in any sense, either Real Madrid owners, whatever. Right? I can't think of any owner that's had the care and the attention to a club like Roman Abramovich has to us. And you know, to the haters, I'm going to say them haters that are saying, "Oh, Chelsea will go back to this." Chelsea won a European Cup before Roman Abramovich, so a European trophy. So you can say this and that, but you know they can keep dreaming. They're clinching onto this, saying, Chelsea's they're on the decline. Keep dreaming, mate, because Chelsea's just going to get better and better and bigger. And the large part of that is because of the best owner, Roman Abramovich. So I've said it time and time again. Thank you, Roman. Hopefully, I can, you know, I will be at the stadium. If I can't get into the stadium to say goodbye, I'll definitely be outside Stamford Bridge to say goodbye when his ownership ends. Because honestly, as I say, I can't thank him enough. Thank you, Roman Abramovich.
Yeah, those are saying that Chelsea's going to go down haven't really been paying attention. You know, we're at the elite table in Europe right now. We're one of the biggest clubs in the world, all due to the fact that Roman Abramovich made that investment into this club. So there's no going back from here. The only way to go is forward. So the next person that comes in now has to take the baton and go. And I think that happens when you start looking at what this club actually needs right now. We definitely need a stadium. Any owner that comes in and delivers a stadium to Stamford to Chelsea is going to be in good stead, you know, with winning over the supporters, because that is the next step towards sustainability and really like pushing ourselves into that stratosphere of, you know, the Real Madrids and Barcelonas, you know, those types of clubs. You build a stadium, you actually put your money where your mouth is, and you build a stadium for this club. Guarantee you will be on the front foot in terms of like endearing yourself to this club, because really what Roman's legacies is, and I guarantee he's a trailblazer. He's somebody that is going to be very, very hard to follow. But what he's left, the foundations, he didn't care about the money. You know, he was just about trying to build a winner. That's his legacy. That's what he was. That's what makes him different to any other owner in professional sports. You can say any sport. You're never going to find an owner that's going to be operating at a loss just because he wants to see a winner. It just doesn't happen, you know, like year after year. You know, like that's the difference. Go ahead,
Coach. Let me ask you a question. You say Roman does not care about the money side of the business. He just wants to build a winning team or whatever winning enterprise. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the next owner care about money. So that's when you said Roman does not care about money, but at the same time, you said there's only one way forward for Chelsea. Like we're going to stay an elite club. The next owner going to just invest money for the love of the club.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
Have to make it a business, a model where he get money back. So the reason why
foundation's already there.
This whole thing is
we're very close to being self-sufficient as is right now. That was all due to Roman. Bro,
with the wages.
It's a fact. We are very close to being a self-sufficient club without the stadium. Like we're turning profits almost 3 out of the last 4 years, or if I'm not mistaken, 2 of the last 4 years, we've been turning profits. And that's not because of Roman Abramovich's injections. Like this club is moving towards stability. So the next step now, and I agree with you, you're not going to find an owner that wants to, you know, just invest just because he wants to see a winner. That's the difference. That's what makes Roman different to any other owner in sport. The fact that he walked away from £1.5 billion a debt, and then all that as well. But like, the next owner has to be the person that takes the baton and runs with it. And then
next owner has to do two things. Not only does he have to raise the money to buy the club, but he has to also raise the money to build a new stadium, because that is a massive factor.
But where?
Couch.
Roman wanted to build a stadium, but
it doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter.
Roman wanted to build a stadium. He couldn't get people to back it, so he had to pay out.
He did. He got it all done. No, it wasn't COVID, Bobby. It was the government. The government, once he got the planning permission, he got everything going. But then the government banned him from coming, and then he started postponing things until the actual thing expired.
Initially, when we contacted the Rain guys in New York, it was to help him find investors into the stadium, naming rights, all that stuff. They didn't secure that at the time. Roman was going to bankroll the stadium. Like obviously they got the approval from the city and whatnot, but at that point, Roman was looking for somebody to come in as an investor for the club, and no banks were ready to loan it to him. So he's going to go it on his own. That was what happened at that time.
He was
prepared to
going
do that.
he was going to do that. He was going to do that. But then that Russian geezer got poisoned, and then the government took action against Roman, and then everything went pear shaped. The thing is this. Talking about Chelsea being self-sufficient, Chelsea can and will be self-sufficient, provided they get the ground sorted out. Now, in regards to the ground situation, there are different options. And those options were looked at close to Southwest London, in West London. The thing is this: when you come to do this, where do the fans stand in respect to their what's the word here? Their affection, their relationship with that ground, that stadium, because the situation with with the pitch owners and with the ownership of the pitch and the owners of the stadium and whatnot, it's a little bit problematic and a little bit complicated for whoever is about to invest millions of pounds into building a new stadium in that same area. So it's something that whoever comes in is got to have at least a plan for that, or an understanding of that, in order for them to invest. Because it's not just I'm going to buy the club, because this club has a little bit of a baggage with it. Because but the only reason we're able to do what we do is because we have a rich owner who is able to get us out of trouble, because the club right now is not making enough when it comes to ticket sales. Every other aspect of the club is working fine, but the ticket sales avenue is a problem. And this is why Roman Abramovic invested so heavily in the academy, because the academy, in one way or another, kind of overcompensates for the lack of revenue that we get from here. We get it from the academy. So there is different business models, and there is different revenue streams that Roman has built, but the stadium is a massive one that we are currently lacking in.
And any consortium that comes in, sorry, Bobby, I just got this one thing to say. Any consortium that comes in has to know that Chelsea operated a loss. You just have to open the books to see that. So if they want to become this club that they can actually even attempt to siphon funds from, they have to build a stadium. That's obvious. Like, you can't function without it at this point. Roman has been bankrolling the club right now, operating at a loss for however many years. So if you come in, you have to be passionate about football first, because you're not going to be making money off of this club, and you have to build a stadium. That's basically what it comes down to for me.
I think they have a bit of an advantage here, guys, is that, when Roman came in as basically a man of the people, and he respected everybody. He respected retired players, he respected everybody, and the pitch owners. And he came in, he didn't come in to actually own the club. As he said in his own words, he came in as a custodian of the club. So he was representing the club's best interest in his mind. And he took the pitch owners into huge consideration, especially after the Battersea plant deal fell through. But I think anybody else coming in will be a little bit more ruthless than that. And MDT actually pointed out what could happen, because he's a pitch owner. They will tell the pitch owners, look, we want to redevelop. I don't see the pitch owners saying no, because they didn't say no to Roman. It was the property owners in and around the stadium that needed to be placated. Now, if they go back on their word, like I think they might do, after Roman struck the deal, some of them were still complaining. The next thing will be to relocate. Now, if the pitch owners don't join the sell-up, these people will just sell the area, the hotel, everything in and around the pitch. And all the pitch owners will be left with is that pitch. And Chelsea, well, the name may alter a bit, just as Mo said it won't be Chelsea FC, it may be Chelsea AFC or AC Chelsea. And life continues. Whatever happens, whoever comes in has to be tough that way. Because for the club to go forward, we all know we need to expand our capacity. And for these people, for want of a better word, that they call themselves, proper Chelsea, still stuck in the 1980s and that period of time, time has moved on. It really has. And they have to decide, okay, it's time for, what's happened with Roman should tell every Chelsea fan, you're not in control anyway. There's nobody that's going to come in and run down the club so badly that we won't basically let them know about it. So we have to show trust. It's a shame we didn't give that trust to Roman, but whoever is coming in next, we either are going to have to give them the trust or they're just simply going to take it.
Look, yeah, Stamford Bridge, we can all agree. Stamford Bridge is home, right? It's home. But in the best interest of the club, which we can all agree, that's why we all here, that's why we talk about Chelsea on a daily basis, that's why we support Chelsea, we want the best for the club. We're going to have to move to a new stadium because what have we got? We've got the lowest capacity of the top six as well. So going forward, change is going to have to happen, and that's what the new owners will have to look at, and they will look at, and they will be looking at areas, etc. Hopefully they're planning. Hopefully they'll just say we're going to go there because it's the cheapest land. Let's go there. I want them to make the best decision in terms of the new area to put the stadium. But Stamford Bridge will always be home to me, but I'm not going to let that blind my judgment and just think, oh, we need to stay Stamford Bridge forever. We need to move. We do need to move. And that's why a certain person who is glad to see Roman leave, I'm not going to name the name, we all know who he is, a bit of a tool, in my opinion. He wants to just stay at Stamford Bridge forever. And I just don't know how we can really think that way. I mean, we need to look at the bigger picture. We need to move. We need to move to a new... we need to get a new stadium. So that's what it is.
Charlie Westfall is saying a 60 to 70k capacity stadium is what is needed, and we will fill it every single game. We will fill it. This is the thing about Chelsea Football Club. You can't have a stadium big enough to take all the fans because tickets get sold out so quickly. We can have a Wembley size stadium, with 80, 90. I think Wembley's 100 capacity. We can have a massive stadium and we'll still fill it every single game, because that is the following Chelsea has, and that is revenue that the club isn't gaining or getting from the fans who are more than happy to pay and to attend. Why is the club losing out on that revenue? Why are they losing out? And why are they losing out on that revenue? And why are we as fans not all being given the opportunity to attend the games because of the lack of availability and the lack of tickets? I mean, it's really hard to buy a season ticket right now. But if they get a bigger stadium, there'll be much more available. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more the club can do for us once they get that bigger stadium. And I think that is what we need to be pushing for.
Just be careful with that, though, because it's not so much the bigger stadium that's going to require or lead to more fans being able to go. Like, with bigger stadium allows you to have more corporate seating, and that's what the last plans. Yeah, so the last plans. Yeah. So the last plans for the redevelopment of Stamford Bridge, I think the allocation was 60-40 in terms of seats for corporate seating versus those of just regular seating. So, if they build this new stadium, it's because they know that they want to have a large amount of increase in the corporate seating, and that's definitely where a lot of the revenue comes from and whatnot. So, I just, because you're fooled into thinking that, like, it's going to help the little kids come into the game and see the game. It's not.
No. Couch. There will be an increase in seating for all the various avenues, corporate as well as the regular Joe. I mean, we will see different price packages. We will see different different options when it comes to that. But there will be more availability. When you have a stadium that is currently operating, I think, on 42,000 versus a stadium that is operating with 70,000, there will be more seats available for the regular people who want to get them tickets.
I'm just saying,
but I agree with you.
Yeah, like the majority of the seats that go in are going to be corporate for sure.
There'll be a big increase in that, and it's revenue. I mean, end of the day, we're talking about revenue for the club, and the more revenue that comes in for the club, the more ability the club will have to spend more on infrastructure, on wages and whatnot. So. You can't go wrong with that. Listen, guys, we've been on for just under 2 hours. I want to conclude the stream, but before I conclude the stream, I want to give you all an opportunity to give me your final thoughts. Let me start with Boogie, the last man in. We'll let him kick us off on his final thoughts, and you can address the game, you can address the situation. Let me get your final thoughts, Boogie.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Listen. Thanks for the opportunity. Today's game, in fact, what I noticed is our players didn't really let the outside noise actually affect them. Most of the kids, especially Reece James and Mason Mount, the Cuban boys, they doing their best to keep Chelsea at the top level by their performances today. I mean, a lot of people criticize Mason Mount, but what I saw from him in the second half was just good. And I just think there is a light at the end of all those stuff that is happening right now. We Chelsea fans just to get back quickly and at least pass our emotions, because right now, especially me, my head is completely down. Emotionally, I'm just drawn and tired. Not tired, I'm just mentally tired as a Chelsea fan. And after watching today's game, I feel like you owe those kids. They deserve your support and my support pretty much. So hopefully a lot of Chelsea fans are getting back to the rings and to support this young team, and so we can keep flying high. That's the only possibility. That's the only ways. That's the Chelsea ways. The energy has to come back. We need to fight and just show Roman that whatever investment he has done for the last 20 years, we will cherish that and work on it and keep the Chelsea in the top level. So listen, I have not much to say, and thanks for having me. That's all I can say for my final.
Boogie, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your time and your thoughts with us. Hopefully, you'll be able to finish what it is you're working on and come back to the Blue Lounge, and we'll see you on a more regular basis. Have a good night, my brother, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Bye.
Peace.
Take care, Boogie. Bye-bye. All right, let me go to Chris. Chris, give me your final thoughts on the events of the day.
That second half performance was just what we needed. You know what I mean? It was the cherry on top of the cake for me in terms of the week. Obviously, personal reasons for me, but on top of that, we obviously Roman. It was just an horrendous week, and that performance in the second half is just what I needed. You know, just to see the lads perform, smash Burnley, and yeah, it was just what we needed. It was just what we absolutely needed. In terms of Roman, I've said that I can't thank him enough. I've got so much love and respect for him, and I hope the future. Obviously, we can't read the future, but hopefully the future is just as successful, if not better. I don't know if we can better it, but hopefully we can get to that, and hopefully we can push on from here. You know, hopefully it's not going to be a sticky situation. In terms of the only thing that's kind of made me kind of make peace with it is the fact that we won the Club World Cup. So we completed all the trophies under Abramovic, and I can happily say that I was involved in the Roman Abramovich era, which for me is wow, what an era, happy moments, one of the best moments, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, FA Cups, etc. So yeah, mate, that second half today was just what we needed, and the fact as well we've got Thomas Tuchel in charge is just wow. You know what I mean? What a manager! What a manager! The way he handles press conferences, unbelievable, and the players we've got, and yeah, hopefully Lukaku comes in and starts scoring, because then that's another issue sorted, and hopefully Rudiger's contract gets sorted. But yeah, mate, in this current moment, yeah, it's looking okay. But yeah, that's the way it is. But it's a pleasure to be back on the Blue Lounge again. It's a pleasure to be back on regular. And yeah, lads, talk soon. Thanks for having me.
Take care, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. My pleasure for having you on, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Take care, brother. Have a good night. Peace.
You too.
Cheers. I've got the governor, the Blue Lounge, the best Chelsea channel on YouTube by far. Big up, boys. Gov. It's because of fans like you we are streaming. So thank you for your kind words, and much love and much appreciate your support. Gov is the geezer that helped me in getting the tickets for the Carabao Cup final. It was a pleasure for me to watch the game with him and his mate Josh. So big up to you, Darren. Much love, much respect. Before I go to Couch Critic, Couch is always complaining about me leaving him last, so I'm not going to leave him last today. But before I go to Couch Critic, do us a favour, lads. Let's get it to 100 likes. We're on 88 at the moment. So if you can give me another 12 likes, if you haven't hit the like button already, just smash it. Let's get to 100 likes. I'd very much appreciate it. Kawasi is coming in, but he's coming in late. Unless you've been in and you haven't said nothing, Kawasi, big up to you. Good to see you in the chat, and big up to Darren again. All right, Couch. Final thoughts on the events of the day, mate.
Yeah, I mean, labored in the first half. Just really didn't see anything that resembled an opportunity for us to score goals. We just didn't create anything, and a lot of the possession, though we kept a lot of it, none of it was really good. Like, we didn't use the possession that we had well enough in the first half. Second half, completely different story. Obviously, Reece James is advancing further up the pitch. He's making that difference in the final third. We see that increase in box presence that we get from wide areas. And, he was the difference for me. Like, obviously, the goal changed games. As soon as you score, Burnley know that they can't continue with that same terrible tactic of just sitting back and hoping, right? They have to open up a bit more. And once they did, we were able to take advantage of the spaces that, were left behind. And that's exactly why it's so important to score early against these teams. Like, you have to score early, because as the game starts to wear on and you start to get, nervy, they start to gain confidence just in the fact that they're keeping you out for as long as they do. And we've seen that bite us in the bum before. So I'm glad that we were able to score early in the first half and then just kick on from there and put 3 more past them. Reece James, man of the match for me. I really think we need to start readdressing Ruben Loftus-Cheek as a central midfielder. He's not a wingback or a winger or central defender.
The only position I haven't seen him play is goalkeeper. So
I'm sure you'll see that in the coming weeks, just going at this rate. It's just crazy, right? Like, just play him as a central midfielder. He's so influential in there. I know we have a lot of good players there, but I really think that Reece James could offer something that they just don't possess. But having said that, I can't really knock Tuchel too much, because we are winning games and we're playing a brand of football that can win titles. So, can't really knock that too much. As far as everything else goes that surrounds the club, it seems like we've been talking about it for quite some time now. My opinions on it haven't changed that much. It's just we have to first of all honor Roman Abramovich the right way. I don't know what that would be, whether naming a stand after him, statue, or having the new stadium, once that gets built, having a section, in the corporate seating reserved for Roman or something. I don't know, something like that. But I just think that, like, he's meant so much to this club. He has us every year dining at the European elite table, and that is a great platform for any owner to come in on and kick on. The fact that he forgave the debt and you're coming in with a clean slate, a club that won the Champions League last year. Like, you can't think of a better position, a better starting position as an owner. Like, yes, you have to make a significant investment, but you're going to have to do that anyways if your plan is to, to take on this club and make profit from it at some point. If you really want to make profit from this club, you're going to have to invest in it in a real way real soon, because we need a new stadium, and you just can't escape that. If you want to hit the ground running and you want to make an immediate impact in the summer even, then you back Thomas Tuchel. That's what you do. Like, that will endear the fans to your new leadership if you show that you have the intent on kicking on again and making sure that the squad is competing in all competitions. The only way you do that is by putting your money where your mouth is, and not just like, kissing babies and, shaking hands. You put your money where your mouth is. So that's something to watch out for. We don't know who the new owners is going to be, but I'm sure that if Roman's vetting them, they're going to be people that have a passion for this club. And if they have a passion for this club, they're going to want to take the baton that Roman has handed to them and run with it. So it's reason for optimism, but at the same time, it's still murky. But again, we just got to hold the faith and keep the blue flag flying high.
Big up. Yeah, no, definitely. We will go on. We will continue. Chelsea Football Club will continue, and hopefully, we will go down a prosperous path and continue the legacy that was founded by Roman Abramovich. Couch, always a pleasure. I'm kind of excited and intrigued to see what your avatar will be for my next stream. So looking forward to that.
If he doesn't cut us here, it's probably Stan, but we'll see.
Have a good night, brother.
Take care. Guys, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, Bobby. Like I said, I like to leave the best to the end, the best to last. So, give me your final thoughts on the events of the day, mate.
Yeah, I mean, wow, this has been a very emotional period, days. It's about a week now. It's very hard to keep the focus on the football, to be fair. And what the players have done by winning is they've helped us refocus on football, and they've helped the fan base at least start to come to grips with what's going on around them. There's a saying that out of adversity comes forth new hope. That's where we are at the moment. That's always been the Chelsea story. In fact, I found myself, before you called me on to talk as the last speaker, thinking, gosh, I'd love to have a couple of seasons where we don't have any drama. I can barely remember one season where there isn't something. And it would be so nice to have that little smooth season where winning things and no drama. But at the moment, that's just how it is with us. And so it has been for a while, to be honest. As far as I'll start off with the ownership situation. Well, only God knows. We have to pray and hope that we get a better situation. I don't know if we can possibly dream of a better owner, but we can dream of a better situation. One thing is certain, Chelsea Football Club is big money purchase, big money investment for big money returns. And it's got to be people with big money. I personally think that because of that, the days of the single ownership is probably over. I could be wrong, but I will find it hard to see how one single billionaire, unless they really, really have the billions, will be able to push this project in the direction it needs to go. So that time will tell. As far as the match itself, well, to me, there's been no surprises. We have had injury situations. I think Couch mentioned about, was it Reece or was it Ruben? Playing midfield, then defense, then goalkeeper and forward. We're so blessed to have him as such a fantastic utility player that he is. And yes, his best position is central midfield. But he's only been moved around like that because of the imbalances in the squad. That will need to be addressed. We need a proper backup system. There's a lot to do. I would like to think that the new owners will recognize that and not make too many changes too quickly. There has to be key members of the board remaining in order to facilitate any sort of transition. So, as I said, I haven't seen the game yet. I've heard enough about it to figure and know what went on. I'll be watching it any minute now. What's the time? Well, it's probably on at the moment. The important thing for us is to keep winning. Important thing for us is to keep our head up. And the important things for us is to be ourselves. We're Chelsea fans. We're a very unique set of fans. To me, we're the best fans in the world. We're a family. We have a way of supporting each other, even when we don't even know each other, when we haven't even met each other. You just identify with that club and you become part of the family. And we care about you. We care about each other. And Roman was a part of that. I have so many flashbacks in my mind about this guy. So many. This was a man that when he first came and there was all that raucous about the new stadium, he defied his security and he went and sat in the middle of the fans. I've forgotten which stand. I think it may have even been in the shed, just to show them that he's part of them. He's not in this just for the money. He's in this for the club. That was an extraordinary thing to do. His security were laying eggs and were completely panicked, but he didn't care. You see this man, he will talk to the tea lady. He was just like a kid in his own dream. And that is what struck a chord with me. I'm a diehard Chelsea fan, as you know. I fiercely protect the club. I go to war, that's verbally, not so to speak, for the club, for the manager, for anybody that has done right by the club, for the fans even. And certainly Roman Abramovich is somebody that I can't get him out of my system. I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, no, spot on, Bobby. A lot of us feel this way. Most Chelsea fans feel this way. There are so-called Chelsea fans who try to tarnish his legacy by referring to certain incidents. Look at the big picture. Look at what he's done. Look at what he's achieved, and tell me anybody else could have done what he has done. And one of the issues right now is we know there isn't anyone out there that can even replicate or emulate what we have had with Roman Abramovich. But I will say the future is bright, and hopefully we will continue. Like Chris said, we thank Roman for what he has done, and we will continue to thank him. Yeah, limitless, spot on. That's what we do. We'll thank him, and hopefully we can do something for him to have a statue, a stand, a something that will link him with the club, for many a year. So, Bobby, thank you for coming on, mate. I will be streaming again in due course. I'm not sure when, but I will be doing probably a match preview for Norwich on Thursday. Hopefully, I'll have another stream before then, and I'll let everyone know just before we go live. Big up to you, Bobby. Thank you for your time, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for
Cheers, Bobby. Take care, brother. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Did we hit 100 likes? We did. Fantastic. 102 likes. Thank you very much to everyone who has smashed that like button. I see Mikhail in the chat. Big up to Mikhail. Keep the blue flag flying high. Guys, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel today. Thank you to everyone who has liked my stream today. Thank you to everyone who has partaken in the chat and on the stream. I wish you guys a blessed evening. Chelsea won tonight, 4-0. A good result, a good second half. Again, I'm going to avoid. Actually, Bobby, if you're still listening and you haven't seen the game yet, don't watch the first half. Just jump straight into the second one. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night and peace out.